Hello, this is the Watchdog, and welcome back to Fun with Watches. If watches weren't fun, you'd only need one. Today we're going to review the Foxbox FB0030 digital analog watch. Let's start with the wrist check. I'm wearing the Squally 1521. I just love wearing this watch. And Greg was wearing my Still Dive SD 1979, which is an homage to that Squally. Grogo said he watched a movie about a young married couple, and the husband joins a cult that worships Darth Maul, and he starts putting antifreeze in his wife's sparkling water. It's called Rosemary's Bubbly. All right, let's take a look at the watch. It comes in this box that says Foxbox. And there's nothing in the box other than the instructions, and this watch is pretty intuitive. You don't need the instructions, but here it is. It's a nice looking watch, but man, there's quite a bit of reflection on this plastic crystal there. This is the fourth Foxbox on my channel. Foxbox is a sub-brand of Liege, as all of their watches have come in Liege wrappers. This is an homage to G-Shock Casio Oak, but at $12 you don't get the G-Shock ruggedness. There are a lot of ultra-affordable Casio Oak homages in AliExpress land that use a digi anti-movement that are synchronized, and this is not one of them, as the analog hands are completely separate from the digital and controlled by a crown. This watch comes in 3 different colorways. If you don't like the black I chose, there's also silver or yellow gold. The black resin strap is the only option. The watch is 43.8 millimeters wide, but 40.7 millimeters if you measure at the flats of the bezel. It's 48.1 millimeters long, and it's 14.6 millimeters thick. The lug width does not apply, but it's 26 millimeters where the strap meets the case. And if you look at the actual lugs, it's 16 millimeters like a true G-Shock. And it weighs 59 grams on the supplied resin strap. The bezel is part of the case, and it's got the octagon shape of Casio Oak. And if you look at the top, you have minute markers and minute counters. And then we have the dial, says Foxbox up top. And if you look at the analog section, we have metallic indices. And then we have the minute markers on the rehaut. And then we have the hands. Let me get so you can see them better. We have the doffing minute and hour hand. And then we have a spear tip second hand, and looks like the second hand actually hits the marks. And then we have the digital part on the right here. We have the time and the seconds. And the time can be set in 24-hour mode if you want. Right now it's just set in regular mode. But you'll see a little P if it's set in, for the PM if it's set in regular mode. Then we have the date, we have the day of the week, the month, and the day of the month. And this is not a perpetual calendar. You do not set the year, so it doesn't handle leap years. And so I'm not sure what it does on February 29th, but I'm not going to set it and find out. And then if you look at the dial right here on the right, I don't know if you can see it, but it says DST for daylight savings. That's purely a prop. There is no daylight savings setting on this movement. So they were just trying to copy the Casio Oak there. So that's going to be a gripe and groan. I don't mind that it doesn't do daylight savings. Just don't tell me it does. Then we have the crown. The crown is an unsigned push-pull, and this controls the analog movement, and it's completely separate from the digital. This is not synchronized at all. And as you can see, though, there was no annoying minute hand jump, so that's always good. Then we have the digital part on the right. To control it, just press this left crown. It moves it to stopwatch mode. And that moves it to alarm mode, and then it moves it to set mode. So that's all you got here. There's not a lot. This is a pretty basic digital movement. And then here, of course, is the backlight. And the backlight does a good job in the total dark. I'll show you later when I do the Lume test. Then we have the crystal. The crystal is plastic. I don't know if it's acrylic or whatever, but there's a lot of reflection and it just looks cheap. And it's already scratched. I don't know if you can see the scratch. And I haven't worn this very much, so I don't know how I scratched it. It might have came scratched. I'll have to look at the unboxing video. And then we have the case. If you look at the case, it looks like we have an outer and an inner, where the inner is resin and the outer is metal. And once again, you can have gold or silver if you don't like the black. But the black looks like it's coated nice. So it does a good job. It's kind of thick though at 14.6 millimeters. So I don't know if this case back needs to be so thick, but that definitely contributes to it. And if you look at the case back, it says Foxbox WR 50 meters. So you get 50 meters here, which is the same as the F91W. And then it says stainless steel back, Japan movement, 5 ATM water resistant. Then underneath the case back, I don't know what the movement is. It doesn't say, and I didn't want to mess with these little tiny screws here to take the case back off. But once again, this is a Digi Annie with basically two movements built together, and they are not synchronized. Then we have the strap. The strap is resin, and it feels good. It feels just like a real Casio. It doesn't feel like silicone or anything like that. So it has a good feel to it. And this buckle looks just about identical to the buckle on the G-Shock I had recently. So yeah, nothing wrong with the strap. Nothing special about it either though. And we only have one keeper. Here's the watch of my 7.5-inch wrist. It looks nice. It wears nice. I have 4 notches left, so you'll be able to wear this 8.5. And it does have the 16 millimeter fit of a real Casio oak, so you might be able to find an aftermarket strap for it. I don't know. I don't have any. Here we are in the Lume room. This watch has a backlight, so it technically doesn't need Lume, but since it has Lume, we're going to test it anyway. As we speed up the time, all I can say is, wow, we see a pretty good glow of BGW9. Only the hands are Lume, but it's not bad at all considering that this is a $12 watch. This Lume isn't going to win any Lume Wars, but it just might if the contestants are limited to the $12 that I paid for it. And here is the watch's backlight. It's a nice even glow and makes it easy to read in the dark. What do I like about this watch? It looks and wears nice. It has good hand lume and a great backlight. And I like this resin strap. It doesn't feel all squishy like silicone. What are my gripes and groans? Digital movement is rather simple and the movements are not synchronized. The dial indicates daylight savings flag, but there is none. And this plastic crystal is very reflective and scratched already. Do I recommend this watch? It all depends on what you want. If you just want something that looks good and tells the time, then sure, it's only $12 and does a decent job. However, for just a little bit more, you can get one with the better movement that's synchronized and has the world time and everything. Well, thank you for watching my review of the Foxbox FB0030, and I'll be back with another review. Be sure and like and subscribe to my channel. If you like this watch, be sure to use my affiliate link. I'll get a tiny commission. Bye.